So good. Thank you, thank you. Is this my clicker? Oh yeah, all right, we got it. Well, thank you guys for having me. So I'm gonna take you guys back about 10 years when I had a big wake-up call. So it started very similar to a day, just like Ben was sharing with you, my schedule looked a lot like his. And I remember that morning I made 3 expired listing appointments and I was so excited. I'm like, yes. And I tried to get into those listing appointments really quickly because I wanted to get to the seller when the seller was, at that point where they wanted to just get this done. And that's how my coach, Kathy Anderson, trained me. And so I remember having to, have lunch and then I would eat in my car. Who eats in their car when they're on showing me? All of us. I know where your crumbs are, right in the seat. And so I got in my car and I went to that 1 o'clock appointment, then I had a 3:30 appointment, and then I remember I had a 7 o'clock appointment, and I was so excited because I got 2 out of the 3 listings signed right at the table. And I rolled into the driveway. It was dark. It was probably 8:45, 9 o'clock at night. And I remember walking in and I was like, oh, is Michael in bed? He's like, yep, you missed him. That was my husband, Kevin. He said, can I talk to you for a minute? I said, sure. So I sat down at the table. I'm like, honey, I got 2 listings. This is amazing. We're going to make X amount of money. And he's like, that's great, honey, but I really have to say something with love. Like, I need you to pay attention. And I was like, okay. He's like, with love, you have not looked at our son for a week. So this is the part in the movie, you guys have seen it, where the cameraman zooms in on the star actor and their eyes well up with tears and you're like, they just keep welling up and then the blink comes and there's 14 streams of tears coming down that person's face. That was me because I had my wake-up call. It's like I was a top producer, top performer, and I was doing all these things and grew up poor and I'm doing this for our family, I'm doing this for you. And so immediately I got mad. So I was like back in that mode. Who has said, I'm doing this for our family? Everyone in this room, right? Because we all do it for our families. But at the end of the day, it was the wake-up call that I needed. So what I want to share with you guys today is I knew I needed something different. I knew I needed to get out of that funk. And there were 2 words that got me out of that funk, and that was leadership and leverage. So I'm going to take you guys back. I usually have slides in front of me. So I hate looking back, but I was a college dropout. So I was the kid in school that had all the ideas and I was always dreaming about other things. And so I got bad grades in school, C's and D's. By the time I graduated high school, I paid a little bit to get into college and I thought, what the hell am I doing? Like I'm in college for them to tell me that I'm average and I'm paying for that. So I'm out of here. Thank God I got my real estate license in 2001. There were three shifts in my life. When I met my husband Kevin at 16, and we're still together today. When I had my son Michael, when I met my coach, and when I moved to a certain company, which we'll talk about later. But I got my real estate license. It was my my agent at the time. Kevin and I bought our first house at 20, and Jill Bomarito saw something in me, and she's like, you have to get your real estate license. You have pretty much run this transaction. So I did, which was exciting. 23 years old, I've got my license. The market crashes in 2008. You remember that? Yeah, fun. So the market crashed, and for the first 7 years of my career, I called myself an average agent because I was selling 15, 20, 25 homes. I learned by putting my ear up to the door of the agents sitting next to me in the office and just listening to what they said. I had no formal training, and I think most of us in this room probably had that same form of training. We just learn on the fly. We figure it out, right? And we get pretty good at it. And so the crash of 2008 comes, and here I'm making $110,000, $115,000, $120,000 a year, which I was the richest person in my family at the time because everybody didn't go to college and they were either short order cooks or working at factories. And here I am, this amazing real estate agent 20 years ago making $120,000 a year. That's a lot of money. And I went from 120 to 40 like overnight because of 2008. And I was like, this is not fun. I'm not having fun anymore. And I remember praying to God. I'm like, all right, God, am I supposed to do this or am I supposed to do something else? What am I supposed to do? And I remember I was cleaning out my desk and there was this flyer from 7 years prior, and it was join us at the Mike Ferry retreat. We're going to teach you how to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And at the bottom it said, coaching, $2,000 a month. And I was like, oh, crumple, crumple, crumple. I can't afford that because I'm broke right now. And then I remember being on my email the next day, and it's this message that comes from the Mike Ferry organization. And it said, come to this retreat. And it happened to be an hour from my house. So I was like, all right, I'm broke. I'm losing all my money. Every agent in my office is literally feeling the same way. So I grabbed like 5 people in my office. I'm like, let's go to this event. What do we have to lose? At this point, we're all broke. Like, we're all crying that the market's crashing. So we all get in the car. We go to this event. And it's an event about this size, maybe add the next room. And I remember a few of the agents sitting in the front row. And I was sitting way in the back, my favorite spot. And they stood up. And they were like, I'm making $300,000 a year. I'm making $400,000. And I'm like, how are these people making all this money? And they're telling us how they're doing great. They're so excited that the market is crashing because the opportunity is there. And I'm like, what opportunity? So I immediately bet on myself, and I pulled my credit card out of my bag, and I was like, I'm gonna join this, whatever this is, this cult. I'm joining it because these people, they look like me. They sound like me. They're acting like me. So I'm going to bet on myself. So I remember racing home, and I called my husband. I'm like, honey, don't be mad, but I'm going to go back to school. He's like, what are you going back to school to do? You hate school. I'm like, well, I went to this event, and there was this real estate coach and this company, and it's $1,000 a month for coaching. He's like, what cult did you join? I was like, it's the Mike Ferry cult. Anyway, long story short, that next year, I learned how to have time management skills. I learned how to prospect. I learned how to get out of my own way. I learned how to not be afraid on the phones, sweating, worried about dialing. And it changed the trajectory of my life. So that market crash, I always say, I met my magical fairy. I also met a magical coach. And my coach said to me, what's your big dream? I'm like, what's it? I don't know. I want to make more money. No, what's the dream? And I'm like, well, the dream would be, a big, hairy dream would be to get the hell out of Michigan because I live somewhere where the wind hurts your face 6 months out of the year. Can I get an amen? Because I know that happens here. And so she's like, when? I'm like, what do you mean, when? One day. Well, no. When do you want to move to North Carolina? I said, I don't know. I'd love to move in 12 months. Well, then why not? I said, well, that just seems so quick. Let's do it. Why don't you pick a date? Let's see if you could do it. If you really want this, you can do it. So we picked the date, and by 2009, we moved to North Carolina. I didn't know one person in town, but I had a skill, and the skill was confidence, to pick up the phone, to read a script, to learn what to say to any seller in any town USA, any day, because sellers have the same objections everywhere you live in the United States. They say about the same thing. There's 40 objections. Let's learn the answers. And then you guys can get out of this godforsaken place too, if you want to, right? I love Boston, actually. And actually, Ben, I didn't come because Ben is so nice. When he asked me, I was like, I came for Sail Loft clam chowder. I was off that plane at 8 o'clock. Emily and I went right to Sail Loft. And we had our clam chowder. It was amazing, by the way. So I moved to North Carolina. 0 to 130 sales in 4 years. My first year, I sold 30 homes. Did not know how to get out of my driveway without GPS. The next year, 55 homes. The next year, 80 homes. Finally, that fourth year, 130 homes. This is where the trajectory was going. But that's where you cue in the tears. Because as top performers, a lot of us don't have a ceiling in this business. It's the most beautiful thing about this business, but it's the thing that strips us away of our humanity sometimes, because as top achievers, we don't know when to stop. We don't know when to turn it off, because a lot of you have gotten the dreams that you want. You just add new ones all the time. And then you go, I need more, I need more, I need more. And so I suffered burnout right around 2018. And I found freedom in 2022. So I'm going to teach you guys how that happened. That's the reason I'm sharing this story. So here's the old mantra. If it's to be, it's up to me. My coach, Kathy Anderson, if you remember, her assistant is here. That's why I'm staring at her, because we used to work together. She sent me this card, and there would be times, who has felt that they didn't want to get out of bed in the morning to go to the office to make calls? Every hand in this room should be up except Ben Esposito, because he's a weirdo and he likes to make those calls. So the days I would cry, I'm like, Kathy, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do this. This is it? This is the life? Yes, this is the life you signed up for. And she sent me this card, this beautiful card, and I still have that little card. It's on my in my office. But I crossed out one word on that card because today the team looks a little bit different. And today the mantra is, if it's to be, it's up to we. And so that's, part of our team. Some of those people have come and gone in truth. But our team is about 50 people right now. And so I have not sold a home in 4 years. Can I get an applause? Yes. But they have. And, we have changed lives on this team. We have met people. We have built their careers. One of our partners is here right there. I'm going to call her out because she loves to be called out. But Emily's in the room. She's a top agent, 60 homes a year on our team. $500,000. I'm only saying that not to impress you guys, to impress upon you that you can change people's lives with information. You're just taking it from here and giving it to others. And so I'm very proud of them and the team. But I'm going to take you guys back to the blast from the past. And a lot of you are in this mode right now. So when it was just me, I was doing all the jobs, because what happens is we get our real estate license and they don't teach us how to be, operational managers. They teach us how to be technicians, to go out and to consult. And so building a business is hard. So before, when it was just me, I was the listing coordinator, the buyer closing coordinator, the field worker. I used to literally take those metal signs from Remax and try to get them in the ground in Michigan. I had a rubber mallet trying to, you guys are from the same area, right? So we got the rubber mallets. I'm jumping up and down in my seller's front yard because I'm 100 pounds. I couldn't get the darn thing in the thing. So inspections, marketing, sales training, I was doing it all. And so could I do it? Sure, I could do it, but not effectively. And when I look back at that life, when it was just me doing everything, I am convinced I lost millions of dollars because nobody taught me leverage. And so why do most agents fail building teams or building leverage? Why is that? Well, my feeling is that it's the fear of spending more money. Who feels a little bit fearful? You don't have to raise your hands because I know it's a lot of us. Who feels fearful of hiring an employee? And then an employee is looking at you every day and being like, where are you? Am I going to get my next paycheck because you're shopping at Home Goods and TJ Maxx and not really doing what you're supposed to be doing? Like, it's a fear to have that accountability. It's a fear of having employees. It's not enough time being a part-time leader. A lot of us, we bring agents onto our teams, and maybe we're a top producer and we've got 40, 50, 60 deals that we're doing. And then we're attractive because we're doing deals and we're successful, and someone's like, hey, I want to be on your team. You're like, come on with me. And then that agent's failing and floundering, and they're like, well, my team leader never helps me because she or he is out selling homes all day, and I'm a part-time leader, so that doesn't work. It's like, imagine right now, you guys are really busy. Imagine you going out and opening up, an ice cream shop or a restaurant. And how much time would you have to dedicate to that ice cream shop or that restaurant? So you've got your sales over here and you've got a team over here. That's two businesses. And so that's what I find when I coach people is they don't know where to put themselves. And it might be not having the right mentor or roadmap to follow, because a lot of the times that was it for me. I just didn't know what I didn't know, and I was figuring it out because that's just what we do as realtors. So most of us, we get into the business, we are excited about becoming an entrepreneur. And really, we're the ones that bet on ourselves because we said, no more corporate America. I'm not going to work for a paycheck. I'm going to bet on me. But what's the definition of an entrepreneur? It's a person that takes on, that organizes and operates a business or businesses, taking on more than financial risk. I can't even read today. Taking on greater than normal financial risk in order to do so. So you guys are the ones that took that risk. You're like, I'm going to do this, damn it. I'm going to bet on myself. And I think that's cool. You guys, we should be so proud of ourselves because most people wouldn't even do what you guys did to get your real estate license and decide to go out on your own. And so as I've been in the business and looking at everything, there's 3 leverage pillars. And I think we're really good at systems. Like, how many of you have a system for listing homes? You know exactly what you're going to do when that home comes in. You've got your checklist. You know, I'm going to do pictures. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And you're strong there. I think all of us are strong there. And we're pretty darn good at tech. I mean, we have a computer in our hands, we're on it 24/7. Now we're learning, we went to the Zoom ages, now we're Zooming with clients during COVID. We didn't go meet anybody, we're having Zoom meetings, so we're really good with tech. The part that they never teach us is management of people, yes? I mean, they don't take us from, licensing school and then be like, let me teach you how to be a manager of people. Let me teach you how to have leverage. Like, that just doesn't happen, that conversation. And so that's my point today, is that we just don't know how to leverage people.
And I want to teach you guys that. So here's the secret sauce. For me, it was getting the right people on the bus at the right time, because you can't really do it all. And so a lot of us have heard, hire an assistant. And we all are like, who's your first major salary hired? And I think about that. I'm like, okay, well, I actually did this. I hired an assistant. And my assistant was $65,000 a year. And then I gave her an override for a transaction. So after a few years, my assistant was making over $100,000. I was like, this is hard, because you can't go back and take people's business back or their income back, because then they don't like you and they quit. But I couldn't afford to hire any more leverage, because I just made a mistake in the salary roll. And I was like, man, I wish I would have done things differently. Looking back, we can analyze our mistakes. And so now I put back 10 years and be like, what would I have done differently? I don't think I would have hired an assistant first. I think I would have hired a growth partner. And hear me out. Right now, I want you guys at eXperience, and we're all friends in this room. Who is prospecting for 7 hours a day straight? 6 hours a day? 5 hours a day straight? 3 hours a day straight? 3? Oh, good. Okay, good. 2 hours a day straight? Every day? 1 hour a day. 0 hour a day. I know this well. I'd have a team of 50 people. I watch what they do. It's hard. That's the hardest part of our job. So think of this. Go back to like prospecting 3 hours a day on the phone. I got it at 7:30, 7:30 to 8. Actually, Eric was one of my first role play vargers. There he is. And we would role play with different people every day, figuring out that skill. They give me an objection. 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock, I was on the phone with a 10-minute mindset break in between all of those out. 11 to 12, I finally could look at my email, and I would check email and get ready. 12 to 2, that was my mindset break, and I had lunch, either in my car or whatever. I just had that break. And then 2 to 7, I would go on appointments. And so what tends to happen is, if you are the ISA, which that is part of your job, the inside sales associate, if you are that person that is driving revenue to the business, because you have to be on the phone doing blah, blah, blahs every single day, because conversations lead to contact, and then you need that post, what happens to the business? It doesn't grow. And I was like, Leah, if I could do this over again, I would have hired Sally or Jerry or whoever and said, hey, sit next to me. You are now my ISA. You are an inside sales associate. I'm an outside sales associate. And we're going to prospect together for the first 3 hours of the day, because you can't teach somebody to do something that you're unwilling to do yourself. So I was willing to do it, and I did at a high level. So if I sat that person down and we did it together for 3 hours, once I leave post and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go out and do appointments now, you stay there and spend the other 4 hours building the business for me while I'm away. What happens when I come back to the office the next day?
Yeah.
The key is, the ISA is basically they're the treasure chest for me. They're the future. So what will happen is this: too many appointments to service. Because the ISA is 6-7 hours a day. Now I pay the ISA $2,000 a month, and they get a 5% override on every appointment they make. So what's the average commission here in Boston area? What's 10,000? 10, 12? Is it? 10, okay. So an ISA, $2,000 a month. They make one appointment for you that you guys land. That's paid their salary for how many months. And the key is they're going to make more appointments. They're not just going to make one. Now maybe it's a 9-day wrap-up period because they got to get good, but they're going to make more appointments. So this is the time to bring on partners, because if I keep coming to the office and Yeah, I said, like, I made you 5 appointments. I made you 10 appointments. I'm going to be like, oh my God, I had too many appointments to service. Now I need friends. Now I need burgers. So now I can finally start building a business because I not the earlier. And now I can sell opportunity because I have opportunity on it. And I know that most people are not going to be crazy enough to spend 3, 4, 5 hours on the phones. I mean, we are built a little bit differently as psychotic people that do that. That is one of them. Here is one of them. Emily's one of them. And so I know that's not for everyone, and that's okay. I totally respect that. So the key is to buy back your time, putting the proper leaders in place so you never have to be stuck having one stream of income. So leverage to me and leadership are still the main thing. So what I want you guys to start thinking about now is in 2017, when I had my meltdown, I was like, oh my God, I need leverage. I need leverage and I need to lead myself through this crisis. What is going to happen? And I was like, okay, I'm buying a mobile home park. This is my plan. I'm going to buy a mobile home park. I'm going to spend $2 million on this park. In fact, I did buy a park. But then I was like, I don't really a mobile park owner. Like I was just trying to think of every idea possible to build leverage. And so time is money is what I realized. I made a lot of money. I was making $1 million a year, netting $750, whatever it was, because of the taxes and all the things. So money wasn't an issue. The time was an issue because if I didn't go out on appointments, I didn't get a contract. What happens in your business? If you guys go away for a month, what happens to your business? It disappears. That's scary. So we have to be the technician regardless every single day. So what I realized is, oh my God, the rich exchange their time for money. I'm rich. Everybody wants to be rich, right? And a lot of us are rich. You make $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 in this room. You guys are rich. Like a lot of people don't make that. The average salary of Cary, North Carolina, where we live, which is pretty affluent, is $85,000. And so when you're making 2, 3, 4, 5, you're rich. And here's the difference. You may not be wealthy because the wealthy own their time. There's a huge difference. The wealthy, they're able to pick up and go whenever. And so a doctor and an attorney, they're rich. They're good ones that take their job seriously because they have to be the ones doing the surgery. I mean, you can't just be like, Donald, the surgeon over here, can't give that surgery away to his sprite. It's like, no, we want Donald to do the surgery. But the wealthy own their time, and that's a big difference. So we can stay solo and look like that. I tried to find the crankiest picture of myself, feeling how I felt 10 years ago. We can stay comfortable, stay frustrated, or realize that your network is your network. And growth is your people. Growth is definitely through people. Every massive corporation, every big business that you look at, it's not a one person. I mean, you look at Mr. Beast. You know, he's got all these people on YouTube. He's got a community behind him making him Mr. Beast. He had a great idea, but it's not just Mr. Beast. It's everybody. So what I also discovered after doing my research, because I was like, I have money, so it's not that that's my frustration, but, you know, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, great, I need my first million. Who cares? It's like, I still don't feel freedom. I'm making all this money. Is millionaires have 7 or more vehicles of income? And I was like, okay. How many vehicles of income do I have? 1. And then we bought a couple rental properties. We're like, oh, we have rentals. Who's like, buy a rental. I'm like, great, now I own these rentals. But here's the thing with a rental property. It's like you buy the rental and you have to have the mortgage on it and you make a few $100 a month. And then that's still a pain in the butt that you can't retire off that, become rich blank day one. It's, when I was 70 years old, I have 20, 30 rental properties. That's going to be pretty cool. And they'll be paid for and I'll have a lot of money coming in. So what I realized is they know their net worth and they have multiple streams of income. So I was like, what is my net worth? And how many streams of income? I need more streams of income. I need leverage. So first it's leadership. I gotta lead myself through this and leverage. And so the next slides I'm gonna take you guys through, because that was my 10-year journey. I figured out if I have leadership department. So today I have 12 different streams of income and counting. This is in 10 years. I'm no more special than you guys, but I just got frustrated enough to say, I'm gonna fix this freaking problem because I'm so annoyed with everything. As I have money, it wasn't that wasn't the issue. So I handle him with big thinkers, yes?
Yes.
Do I have your permission to not have you judge me for going through these next 12 slides? I'm going to show you my 12 streams of income. And I know some of you are in this chair and be like, who does she think she is telling us all how much money she has? I grew up in a very small thinking family where rich people were evil. We grew up in that family. A lot of us, right? Oh, the wealthy, oh, the rich. So I want you guys to think bigger. This is to inspire you, not to gloat and not to tell you how amazing I got. This is to say, you can do it too. I promise you. You just got to think outside the box. So I want you to look at these 12 strings and say, which one could I have? Which one of these could I do? Because here's the beautiful thing. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is more powerful passed on to another human that you can leverage and help that other human. And so this is not stuff I created, and I'm not like, these are not my ideas. I just learned, and I'm passing on the information to you guys. So I hope this inspires you. Ready? Yep. All right. So today, with 45 agents, we sold 800 homes. We'll sell 800 homes this year. I will not sell one of those, which is very exciting to me. So not only did we build leverage via our personal team, we also built a network. So I am with Ben's same company, and I decided to join that company 6 years ago, which changed my life completely. And I go through people. So now I have 1,550 people in my EXP network, which I call my bigger team. And that team costs me zero money, and it's really cool to have all those amazing partners. And so let's get inspired. Here's the streams of income. I have to give you this disclaimer because EXP makes me. I'm going to show you the money that I make. But also, I am not a financial advisor. Nowhere in here. So I've made mistakes. I have lost money in investments. I have made money in investments, but I'm not a financial advisor. So you're not copy this exactly. I'm just showing you my stuff. All right. So team cash flow. So last year, the team cash flow was $800,000. So that was, we leveraged our leaders. We're able to pay out $4.5 million to 45 agents on our team, and we kept 800. So if you think about it, I was making 750, 800 clear as a solo agent selling 130 homes a year, losing my mind, not seeing my son and crying at the end of the week. Now I just replaced that same income, but my team gets to go out and sell 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 homes, whatever they want. They could maybe 700,000, 800,000 on my team, but they don't have to have the risk and the feeling that I did. They don't have to do it alone, and they get to do it, with us together. So we're very proud of that, that net flow. That is stock. So this was, when I moved to North Carolina, we literally had $100,000 to our name. This was 15 years ago. We got down. I remember Kevin came into my office one day. He's like, hey, we have $5,000 in the bank account. We have to move back to Michigan and live with your mother in the next 30 days. And I was like, hell no, we won't, bro. Like literally, I was like, I'm getting my vet on the phones. I will work at Walmart as a greeter, but we are not living with my mother. And so I remember moving to North Carolina, and I listened to Dave Ramsey. Who listens to Dave Ramsey? Yes. And so he was like, you have to save 80% of your yearly income. And so we contributed $19,500 each year for the last 15 years. That's grown to about $800,000, guys. So I think what we make a mistake in is we don't pay ourselves first. We make all this money, and then we don't save the money to invest it because it just goes through our fingertips, and we don't pay our taxes. I was always a charge for taxes at Owens Lake, and Kevin took that job away from me, so now we are always good at our taxes. But I would just encourage you guys, take the money you make and save it. It does compound. And for those of you, I'm almost 50. For those of you that are in this room that are in their 20s, you guys have what I don't have. You have time. You have 20, 30 years to grow this. So please, I'm not a stock expert, but look at money way. EXP stock program. There's a lot of companies now that offer that. I've been here 6 years. If I sell 28 homes a year, I get back my $16,000 at this company. The company then gives me back, or gives me the $16,000, and over time, I don't know, it goes up, it goes down. Weeknight stock goes up, goes down. But when I was at Remax, they didn't give me stock. When I was at Keller Williams, I did not get stock. I still did my job, but here I get stock. So I know my uncles that worked at GM up at Detroit in the factories, they all retired on their stock. And I used to remember that, but I was like, this is cool. So extra retire. Invest in what you sell. So I remember a mentor said, actually an agent on my team, LaGondria Morris, she owns over 100 rental properties. She's an agent on our team, and she's like, you own rentals. I'm like, I don't know. It's scary. Like, this is ridiculous. You're buying one this year. And so we bought 11 rental properties. So we, think about it. We put $800,000 down on those 10 or 11 properties that we had. We made right now $5,000 a month in passive income on those 11. So if I had no other stream of income and I stopped selling real estate or I closed down my team, 11 properties, a $800,000 investment raised me in $5,000. Now, I don't know about you guys. I'm a little more bluesy now. $5,000 is none of this. It's just not enough. It's not enough. I need 15. But that's how much I'm bringing in passively. So when we're 65, we're going to be so excited that we have these 10, 15 properties because that'll be about 20, 25,000 a month. And you live on 25 grand a month right now? Yes. 60, 70, 80 years old, I'll be really happy because I'll be old and I won't want to go anywhere. And so, I'm happy with that. But this is a long-term investment. Let's start doing it now. You'll be happy there. Airbnb, we took one of those properties, we turned it into an Airbnb. Now, people love Airbnbs. I am not enjoying the experience, but it's cash flow. Our payment's $1,300. Our average cash flow is $3,700. So that's allowed us to invest in an up-and-coming area. The thing I don't like about it, it's running a mini hotel. So you're going to get a call. Hey, you don't have muffin pans. Well, why are you baking, Nancy? You're on vacation. Okay, I'm going to call Amazon and get you a muffin pan. So I don't enjoy it, but it's it. All right, this was my favorite slide because when I joined the company 6 years ago, they said, hey, you could recruit agents. I'm like, I'm not a freaking recruit agents. That sounds horrible. I'm not a recruiter. I have never picked up the phone and recruited one agent. I'm not a recruiter, but I am a community leader and a community builder, and I love to mastermind. And so all I did was for 1 hour a week, I opened my doors to everybody in my community and all the different companies that said, come join us. We're going to just learn. We're still learning things. We were not allowed to ever say the word EXP in our office because I don't want my friends that are coming in the community to think I'm recruiting them. I'm not. This is what I'm doing. If you like it, come join me. And so literally in the last 6 years, 1 to 2 agents have joined my organization. Hey, we think we want to come. Okay, cool, come. That has grown to 1,550 people. But here's the cool thing, guys. If you love incentivized leadership, if you love coaching, if you love monetizing all that information in a break, you've been in the industry for 5 years, 10 years, and you have learned so much, there is an agent right now that can work for me. And you are not monetizing their knowledge. And who has been the got a minute girl or got a minute guy in your office? Who has ever had Dave say, hey, you got a minute? Hey, you got a minute? Got a minute? Got a minute? Got a minute? I'm like, man, but now I get paid for the minutes. And it's great, and I love giving back. And so 1 to 2 agents a month, think about it. That's 50 grand passively a month. It costs $549 to move here. There's lots of companies that do this now. It's just an option. So if you want to share your tribal knowledge with your competitors and bring them into your network, awesome. This is for you. Syndication group. So I learned that you invest, 50 grand a year, 100 grand a year into a group and buy 350, 400 properties or bundle or whatever. So we ended up doing we created affordable housing by converting 300 student apartments. That's a 10 to 15% return. So a really good return. That's group invested. eXperience Referral Network, you guys are what other company to with? Go meet the people. Go to the conferences. I always go to conferences. I eat all the people, laughter, and pay 250 grand just by saying hi to another agent at your own companies. So if you guys don't go to your company retreats, go to your company retreat and make that list. Affiliate agreements. This is my favorite. I learned this in our mastermind group. One of the agents would always say, oh, I do this, and here's my affiliate link. I do this, here's my affiliate. I'm like, what is this affiliate link? And so now on my YouTube page, every time I say BetX or Mojo Dialer or any tool that I use that I really, really love, I have an affiliate link. So I make about $2 to $25 per month just by sharing with other agents the things I liked. My website. We built this amazing website on Culver.com that won awards. And then the company reached out. They're like, we keep getting a lot of people that reach out to us to build a site from your site. I'm like, can I have affiliate pre-bid? They're like, yes. So now we have an affiliate with that. So think about that. Like you can make money just by sharing your knowledge of the thing you love. Coaching products. So I was the got a minute girl. And then when I realized when I got on social media and started getting a lot of followers, a lot of you reach out. You're like, hey, you got 5 minutes? I'm like, sure. And I would constantly load my calendar up with 5 to 10 agents a week that just wanted to spend 30 minutes talking to me, which is totally fine. And I have given everything away for free for the last 5 years. Literally everything is free. Last year, I was like, I'm going to make the coaching product for $97. And all those gala heads, I'm going to group them together and give people what they want in a 34-page PDF. That made $100,000 last year. Yikes. That's just math. So I made $100,000 gross. It made $35,000 net. But if I just 10x where I spend, which is $1,400 a month, if I just said, I want to spend $10,000 a month, that would 10x this return. But I'm not in the world of selling coaching products. I just want to see if I could do it. You guys could do that too. Take all of your knowledge and put it in a coaching product. Instead of freak out a minute, sell it to them for 97 bucks. We're here, you buy stuff, you buy coaching, I buy everything. I spent probably $350,000 on my training. I buy our shit to somebody else. Tight buffet for anybody in this room that is doing over 100 units a year, that is a $15,000 a month business for us. So in North Carolina, we have attorneys. I remember we have attorneys in law. I'll say attorney here, same thing. Michigan, we have title accountants in our companies, but I own 49% of a tech company. Mortgage company. I also have a mortgage JV. And so we make $30,000 a month on our team because of this mortgage JV that we decide to open. So you are doing 13 to 15 deals a month with a mortgage company. You bring in another 30 grand. So that's 12 strings of income accounting. Now I want you guys to think of it this way. Always be thinking, what else could I do? Where is my leverage? If you break, no offense, break your leg to fall off a roof or lose your voice or something happens and you cannot go out and place it, where is the money coming from? That used to keep me up at night. And so you, let's say, have 10 coaching clients at $2,000 a month. That's $1,000 a month. Some of you in this room are worth $2,000 a month for your knowledge. That's evaluation wording this thing. So you're like, I could never charge that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, because you pour it into yourselves. And now you can share that info with some. And top producers will pay. They will pay for your knowledge, or they should pay. You could sell 100 coaching courses, $3,500 each. That's $350 a year. Maybe it's a 6-week homework. Okay, for 6 weeks, I'm going to teach you my listing mastery. It's $3,500. I make $10,000 in commission. I know my 6-week listing mastery can get the guys one more deal. So sell that. Or sell 1,000 script books for $190, whatever it is. I want you guys to really start thinking, I've been in the industry X amount of years. This is my secret sauce. Everyone will want to know what it is. How do I monetize that? Or do I build a community? Or do I build a big social media following? Whatever it is, there's more that you guys could do instead of how they train us. Just go sell homes. Yes, that's a good thing. And you're not going to be influential if you don't sell homes. So if you think, I'm going to sell these coaching products, and you sold 2 homes in your whole career, no one's buying. I mean, that's the reality, right? So you got to do something good as far as your success in the business, and then people will follow. So I think that's it, guys. Make these.